None? Okay, next item is the approval of the minutes from our meeting on November 20th, which we have received.
Second.
Motion and second. Questions, comments, changes regarding those minutes?
The only thing that I would note is that I'm actually here as District Attorney Hesgraff's designee. And it was noted that she was absent, that it did not record my attendance in her stead.
Thank you. We'll make that note. So noted. With that minor amendment, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it. Those minutes are approved. Next item, Warden, the floor is yours.
Good morning. Today is a happy day for some, a sad day for others. We're acknowledging the retirement of Captain Daniel Waltz. Captain, do you mind standing, please? We're here to honor Captain Waltz for 25 years of service to the Lebanon County Correctional Facility. I'm hoping my dates are accurate, so feel free to correct me this one and only time, sir. Captain Waltz started his career as a part-time correctional officer March 31st, 1997. He became full-time November 16th, 1997. He promoted to corporal 2010. He promoted to sergeant 2017 and promoted to captain of security in 2022. Captain Waltz has been almost part of the fixtures of the correctional facility. He knows the fixtures, he knows the building, he knows the ins and outs of the building better than most. So losing him hurts the facility because it's losing a part of history. He was trained and raised by some of the oldest, best correctional leaders and supervisors of the facility. So we're losing a lot of knowledge, a lot of old school values and beliefs. Not that the new stuff isn't important and needed, but just a lot of how you take care of people and just the true quality leadership. Captain Waltz also served as our CERT commander. Even when he wasn't lead CERT commander, he provided a lot of diligence and expertise to the planning of the events that occurred over the facility. He was down in the trenches. He wasn't a captain or a supervisor that sat in the office with his feet propped up. He was on the floor guiding and leading his people. He always had a great relationship with his shift. His shift in particular was the midnight to 8 shift, and that shift still to this day most times carries a bond that's beyond belief, just with empathy and sympathy to each other, their family situations. The Lebanon County Correctional Facility is appreciated to you to your dedication to the training department. I know as sitting as the warden, I didn't get here by myself. You helped me in training when most wouldn't. So I sincerely appreciate all your efforts and time to help me become the warden of the correctional facility present day. I know you also provide the administrators a lot of support. Again, happy for Captain Waltz's retirement, but it is a loss, to the county correctional facility, and the dedication that he provided is really beyond words. So on behalf of the facility, we'd like to present you this plaque. Thank you.
Any thoughts you would like to share about your service?
Absolutely. 27 years dedicated to this place right out of high school, starting at age 18, working through the ranks and learning a lot of aspects of life in the facility. There's a lot of hard work, but a lot of people say that there's a lot of negative things with corrections, but sometimes there are positive things that you can do to impact people's lives, whether they are incarcerated or even staff. So I thank you as the county to allow me the opportunities you give me.
On behalf of the county, taxpayers, and our staff here, thank you for your service, but more importantly, your service. You can hear the emotion in the Warden's remarks, and I can tell you that this was not just a job, this was a calling, and you made a difference in people's lives. I'm sure the staff
I would like to know, in your opinion, what qualities would it take to come in here and move through the ranks and do what you have done?
Hard work, and just willingness to learn and understand people and have that enthusiasm to help people in some of the worst times of their lives. Some rebound from it and some do not, but you still have to work continuously to try to improve their lives.
So helping those that come in, not treating them like you're just a bad person.
Correct.
Okay.
Treat everybody as if they were a human being.
Wonderful, thank you.
I just want to thank you for your service, and also hope that you have the best possible retirement, and you're still young enough to have a lot of good years of catching up on quality of life stuff, so thank you.
I'm still looking for part-time people if you get bored.
I will keep that in mind.
I also would like to thank his wife and his daughter. They're here. His wife actually used to be an employee of the correctional facility back in the day. But again, when you talk about the quality and characteristics, it's also the people at home to support their spouses and loved ones that are working in this field to do the hours and to do times. And she dealt with the calls at all hours of the night. And just understanding that his job, it's a hard job, and it's really a 24/7 on-call position. Now, he's lucky, may I say lucky, Michaela? His daughter's following his footsteps at the Lancaster County Correctional Facility, so Captain Walt really has set the tone with the family to continue, hopefully, in his footsteps, one day. So thank you to them for sharing him with us.
Thank you.
May I add a word? Captain also cares for the chaplains, and old school, he was taught by his sergeant that when the chaplain is here late at night, you walk her to her car and then have her call you when she gets home. Thank you.
Well, again, thank you for your service. Warden, I think you would like to recognize some staff members going back to an incident in October. You want to lay
Sure.
the table about what happened?
Sure. The incident that we're providing accommodations for, and unfortunately, I believe only one correctional officer was able to make it today, and none of the prime care staff were able to make it just because of the shifts and the hours that they're currently working. But it was a 4 to 12 shift in October 2024. We had an incarcerated individual that just came in fresh from the street. We were providing the intake, which is just assessing and asking questions. During the assessment, the correctional officer noted that the individual that became incarcerated indicated that he was most likely going to be suffering from withdrawal because he was in his addiction and he was using drugs on the streets. The officer was finishing his intake assessment on the individual, and he was just putting him back in a cell, and he observed and heard abnormal, unusual sounds. He went back to check on the individual, called for a medical backup. Staff and the prime care medical both responded. The individual was in active withdrawal. During that situation, they had to take life-saving measures to include Narcan. We're lucky to have Narcan to provide to the facility. It took numerous Narcans, and it took them, again, to do life-saving measures to sustain the individual's life until advanced first responders could come. They came, the individual was safely taken to the hospital. He was treated at the hospital and then returned a few days later. So again, like when we talk about correctional officers, sometimes people just think, oh, that's just their job. That's just what they're supposed to do. But again, they wear many hats, whether it's a teacher, a coach, a mentor, but also, they're here saving lives. So it's again, a dedication to our training department, our first aids and CPR instructors, but again, our great relationship with our medical provider, Prime Care, because it wasn't just security did it or Prime Care medical staff did it. It was a collaborative effort by both the Prime Care medical staff and our correctional officers.
Congratulations all, and truly a team effort. You would like to distribute these to...
The only officer that was able to make it, which I appreciate, is Officer Spadaro. Director Potter, would you like to do the honors and giving him?
Should be at the bottom.
Yeah, do you want to do it, Thank you.
All right, Lebanon County Commissioners certification.
Officer Spadell, could you please stand up and come forward? Thank you.
Correctional Officer Jared Spike. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
All right. With sincere gratitude for the staff, members of Lebanon County Correctional Facility who recognized a medical emergency and acted with due diligence to render care and assistance. The prompt and thorough response to the situation mitigated its severity and serves as an example for how to respond to similar situations in the future. Thank you.
Officer, I'd like to shake your hand. too.
Officer
Thank you.
Spadell, how long have you been with the facility?
4 months, ma'am.
4 months. So fresh off the gate.
Officer,
Yes, ma'am.
thank you.
Thank you.
The other individuals that weren't able to make it were Sergeant Mailer, Corporal Fallu, PFC McQueen, Corporal Gonzalez, CO Schaefer, and then the prime care medical staff that were unable to attend this morning were Madeline Sweatlock, Danielle Shepler, Stacy Baumberger, and Danielle Donor. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Update on our MAP initiative.
Yes, so we had our morning medical meeting this morning. We're on track with Matt. I believe I just have to work out the signature of the contract to continue. Where we are now is we're ready. Prime Care is going to take the next step, which is basically continuing to survey our inmate population. As you note on our prison board, our population has been down slightly. So that's going to probably make things a little bit easier for us to get up and rolling with the onboarding of the medication-assisted treatment. They are in the process, I believe Tom Weber could speak, because I don't want to put words in his mouth, about where they are with their staffing to move forward with stuff. Basically where we are is once we sign that signature, January 1st comes, we're just going to proceed as caution and we'll adjust operations as need fit. I was graciously allotted in the budget money to get some office equipment for the new person once we elevate to that level. So I thank the board for your support. Again, I do believe we're dodging a bullet by proceeding with this method of treating the incarcerated people that have an addiction to a substance. So that's the update. Tom Weber, would you like to add anything?
Just briefly, last month we had 35 individuals on maintenance. We detoxed 8 individuals from opioid use, so they would be the prime candidates for induction once we start that. For the last year, part of our intake process was to try and identify individuals who would likely benefit from an MAT treatment. I've told the warden that I'm going to go back and survey those numbers so that we can see what we're looking at in terms of increasing the participation, so we know how best to roll it out in terms of timing as well as location. I will mention for the board, it's wise that you've made this decision. Another one of our counties, which has steadfast refused to do MAT, just received a letter from the Institutional Law Project threatening a lawsuit that if they don't start the program by January 1, and we're going to get it up and running for them, but we've had the foresight of having a year of, testing the water, so to speak, from both a correctional standpoint and our standpoint to make sure that we're doing this efficiently and safely and avoiding, to the greatest extent possible, any diversion or patient problems.
Side note, we also talked about Family First, because we have that connection with Family First. They will start playing a role with that as we start inducing the folks for their reentry. So we do have that back end piece filled, which is important for the community.
I met with them shortly. They had a couple of attendees at prison board back, I believe it was in July, and I went out to their facilities, met with them, make sure we have the connections. So when it comes to discharge planning, the patients we've been treating on maintenance, they're coming to us from a program in the community, so there's no need to identify a community provider. The ones that we will be inducting won't have that connection, so we can look at Family First, as well as some other resources to make sure that there's that one handoff.
Great.
Update on staffing, we really were fortunate to kick it into high gear, and we had a plethora of applicants come for interviews. So again, our new academy is starting January 6th. We're hoping to have at least, I'm going to say 10, knock on wood, at least 10. I believe we have a few more that will be starting full-time in our correctional academy. As previous month, we've been reporting what our operations have been for the facility. So for this month's prison board report, out of a total of 90 shifts, we had 5 that were in full operations, 81 which were in modified operations, and 4 lockdowns during the month that we're reporting for.
Good. Thank you. Anything else?
No. Unless the board has any questions.
Questions for the warden? All right, then we'll move on to reports from our deputy wardens.
I have nothing to add unless there's questions.
Is there any other business to come before the board today? Tom, would you like to offer any additional comments?
No, with the population being down, we saw some of our numbers be down as well. Mental health aspect, we're still running at 69% between the C and D raters, those that are receiving active treatment, with 57% on psychotropic medications.
Thank you.
I will note, excuse me, Commissioner, I neglected. I have CGL here. Sometimes there's questions about maintenance. As you guys see the report is very well done. We have been ebbing and flowing with a lot of complaints with the heating going on in the facility. Maintenance is working that out. They're taking the temperature, so are our sergeants, our OICs on each shift. When the inmates are complaining in different housing units about the temperatures, they have the ability to go assess a temperature at that time. And right now, we're above board with where the complaints are with the heating throughout the facility. Maintenance is doing their best efforts to continue to work out the problems. Again, what we're experiencing right now a lot with maintenance is we're ordering the parts, and sometimes there's a 7 to 14 day delay until we're receiving them. So I have been getting a lot of calls from the community. Everything is being addressed to the best of our ability. Again, the temping, what the process would be if we would temp an area and does not meet our requirements, then we would relocate those incarcerated people to a cell that would meet the temperature requirements. Thus far, we have not had to do that. A few weeks ago, it was really chilly. We did take the initiative and move some folks out of what we call our corner cells, which tends to breed more coldness. We were proactive, and we did relocate them just so we wouldn't have any potential risk with the population being where it is. We do have that flexibility to try and meet those needs. So again, CGL has really been stepping to the plate, and they've been trying to help us just battle the everyday maintenance of a 24/7 operation.
Thank you. Okay, anything else for the good of the order?
Move to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Second, we stand adjourned. Thank you all very much.